How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel for the final MMO news drop of 2019, with it being New Year's Eve and all, so let's get straight to it, beginning with Guild Wars 2 and ArenaNet. Multiple news sources are reporting this week that ArenaNet are no longer going to be known for just the Guild Wars franchise. The studio has posted a job opening for an art director, and here's where it gets interesting. It's for an unannounced third-person fantasy action console title, and that's word for word lifted from the job posting itself. Naturally, many are jumping to conclusions that this is going to be a Guild Wars console port, while others are suggesting it will be a new IP entirely, since Guild Wars 2's engine isn't console-friendly according to folks in the know. From what I saw, no mention of MMO whatsoever, and it could be a new single-player game then. What does this mean for Guild Wars? Not much if it's a different IP, or a big shot in the arm if it's actually a port. That will all come down to what ArenaNet announces when they are ready to announce it. What do you folks think? What's this console game going to be, or what do you want it to be? On Final Fantasy XIV, the HEAVENSTURNS event, A Tale of Mice and Mochi, goes live today, New Year's Eve, and all players level 15 and up can take part. Running until January 14th, players can pick up the Mochi to be desired quest from Nezumi Bugyo in Limsa Lominsa and follow it through to earn some head cosmetics and mice-related housing decor, because 2020 is the year of the rat if you follow the Chinese zodiac. For World of Warcraft players waiting for patch 8.3, some interesting stuff has emerged from Wowhead, who's been covering PDR non-stop, and while I usually don't highlight PDR, this one's a good to know. Apparently, the starting questline for Visions of N'Zoth will be a very long one. It's not account-wide and must be done once on every character. The entire questline will take about 2 hours to complete on your first run, which makes it one of the longest prerequisite questlines ever in World of Warcraft for a content patch. If it's your first character through, there's also a bunch of prerequisites and unlocks you'll need to complete before you can even pick up the questline, so I'll link the ever-helpful Wowhead post down below and you can start preparing. Many of you in the past few news drops have been asking about Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen, a crowdfunded MMORPG that's still in development, and good news, we have a new producer's letter released this past week that answers some questions about 2020 and beyond, plus the current state of the game. To break it down in a quick summary, the development team is now more determined than ever to get Pantheon out the door with the vision that Brad McQuaid, who sadly passed away this year, had instilled for the project overall. To that end, the team talked about final works being done for the pre-Alpha 5 session, which is a big hurdle that needs to be overcome before the game can move on to a proper alpha. What does that mean? It means it will still be some time before you'll get to play it if you're one of the lower tiered backers, and as always, let's hope development goes well. Black Desert is gearing up for its Guardian class launch next month and recently held its year-end Calpheon Ball for Korean players to showcase what's coming. Mostly there's info for the Guardian, the Auto-Leader region, and a few other things that we'll talk about closer to its Western release. Meanwhile, Black Desert Mobile has been updated over the holiday period to include the Southern Madaya region. This includes areas like Altinova, Aben Village, the Abandoned Iron Mines, and Marnie's Second Lab. Additionally, the max level cap has gone up from level 55 to 60, and the enhancement level cap for weapons and armor has also increased from 30 to 35. If you care about this stuff, here's some download stats. BDO Mobile has now surpassed 20 million downloads worldwide. Okay, for new MMORPGs, let's first take a look at Wild Terra 2. This is a sandbox MMORPG that's currently in development, which features top-down gameplay set in a fantasy medieval world that will be controlled by players come launch. The developers claim that there will be huge emphasis on PvE and PvP zones, with accompanying activities like raids and sieges, on top of an extensive crafting system and customization that grows over time, literally. For example, beards on male characters will grow, and you'll put on weight from eating too much. The highlight concept of the game is that it's seasonal, and every new season introduces a new continent in the game world for players and guilds to conquer and claim. If that sounds good to you, the news is that Wild Terra 2 has begun its second alpha testing stage, which will run until January 3rd, and anyone interested can get into the alpha right now for a whopping $250. Otherwise, the game aims to release on Steam Early Access in late 2020 with a buy-to-play model. Link to the website is down in the comments. Moving on, Soulland Awakened Warsoul is a pretty popular Eastern mobile MMO that has launched its English version this past week for those who are interested. The game is based on a fantasy world created by a popular novelist and features traditional MMORPG gameplay content and systems that you'd expect for a mobile title. Soul Lands is all about creating a team of magisters, each with unique war souls that determines their strengths and weaknesses in combat, and progression is down to collecting more to build a winning team. Expect plenty of automated gameplay in this one from what I've seen in the press previews, and you can get the app for free on iOS and Android. And last but not least, Tales of Wind, a mobile MMORPG from Neocraft, has announced that it will be launching its PC version on the 2nd of January 2020. Tales of Wind is a typical Asian-style MMO with emphasis on Trinity classes, cartoon graphics, and high fantasy, and players will adventure into the world of Arlsdor, which has been invaded by demons, so there's no need to guess what your job is. The game's combat system is all about absorbing the essence of defeated foes to make a soul card that can then be used to summon them to fight for you in future battles. There's PvE, PvP, and guild versus guild content, and yes, it's free to play. Hopefully, the PC version's UI and controls are optimized well enough without it feeling like a cheap mobile port. And that's all I've got, folks. A quick news drop to rein in the new year, and I'll see you all in 2020 for more MMO goodness. If there's news for a game that you play that's not covered here, hey, feel free to share it with us in the comments down below. Hit the like button if you've had a good 2019, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to get notified on all my latest uploads. Once again, I'm Adrian, and I thank you for watching. Happy New Year, everyone.